come to the second floor holding, for example, a scooter in his hands. The biggest and strongest wildcat is the tiger. For comparison, the lion's mass reaches 440 to 500 pounds, 200 to 250 kilograms, while the tiger's mass is 680 pounds, about 300 kilograms. This makes the tiger larger than most bears, and at the same time, such a mass is muscles hardened by hunting, not fat. Therefore, the speed of the tiger's throw, as well as his reaction, is simply amazing. You don't expect such sharp, strong, and fast movements from such a large animal. So, the snakes are in shock. However, power and speed are not the only advantages of tigers and cats in general. Snakes are perfectly adapted to look for prey. They compensate for the lack of hearing with another sensory organ. This is thermal vision. Yes, snakes can see like a predator. Reptiles not only perceive infrared radiation, but also react precisely to the heat that the victim's body emits. And some snakes are even able to understand by the strength of the radiation in which direction and at what distance the prey is located. Along with sensitivity to vibration, in fact, snakes actually crawl on their stomachs, and the area of contact of the body with the ground is very large. This turns them into living sensors. A cool advantage for finding prey and for hunting, but not for a fight. During a duel, especially if both opponents are acting at high speed, it is extremely important to notice the blow in time and have time to react. And for this, you need the ability to assess the distance, depth, and angle of movement well. Snakes, although they have good eyesight, are still inferior in this respect to cats. You know that tigers and other cats can see in the dark several times better than humans, right? Twilight and even an impenetrable night for us are not a problem for them. But this is not the only side of their supervision. Another trump card is binocularity. That is, the cat's eyes are located in front of the muzzle, and the snake's on the side. The tiger has a smaller field of vision, but thanks to binocularity, he is able to perfectly estimate the distance to the target of the strike. In addition, the tiger reacts instantly to movement. As a result, we have a real fighting machine, which is capable not only of knocking down a buffalo with one blow, but also of fighting with such an unusual and dangerous opponent as a large snake. There is even a very old documentary record where such a confrontation takes place. The tiger is still young. He still has to grow up to the size of an adult. But the python is huge, about 25 feet, 8 meters. Their confrontation looks very frightening. The tiger is not only young, but also completely inexperienced. He has not yet encountered such large snakes and does not know how they behave in battle. That's why he lets the python entangle him. A huge reptile bites into the cat and tries to squeeze it in its arms, break its ribs, strangle, and eat it. If there were any other animal of the same size in place of the tiger, the snake would get a delicious lunch. But the tiger does not give up. The weight of the python exceeds the mass of the cat, but the striped predator manages not only to continue the fight, but even to get up and throw off the dangerous snake rings. The tiger is breaking free. The cat retreats, but the main thing is that she saved her life. Or here are some more shots, this time from the zoo. The message stated that the cobra managed to sting the tiger, but in the video the cat overcame the snake and carries it as prey. Interestingly enough, this is a rare white tiger. They are not albinos because they have black stripes on their skin. These animals are huge, strong, and look very noble. It is not surprising that even without combat experience, this tiger from the zoo was not afraid to attack a poisonous snake. In general, large wildcats differ not only in size and color, but also in character. Leopards are the most cruel and bloodthirsty among them. Lions are the most territorial. They will drive away from their territory even predators that hunt a completely different prey, just to keep them out of sight. Tigers are the most cautious. These are solitary predators. Yeah, they're the biggest and strongest, but they know perfectly well that no one needs to look for trouble. Of course, for the sake of protecting her offspring from the legless monster, the tigress will attack with all her fury and strength. But in other circumstances, they would rather avoid a skirmish. Therefore, if a well-fed tiger sees an adult python, it will most likely just go the other way. What do you think about this behavior? Is this cowardice or a smart act? Perhaps it is to protect against enemies such as large cats that some cobras have developed a unique long-range attack mechanism. We are talking about snakes that can spit venom over a long distance. Several subspecies of cobra have this ability. During this hunt, they do not use this ability. It is useless. But it fits perfectly to protect against the threat. Interestingly enough, the ability to spit is more effectively against the large predators for the simple reason that because of their size, it is easier to get into them than into a mongoose. So, the channels through which the poison is excreted in such cobras are arranged a little differently than in ordinary snakes. These channels are facing forward. The cobra traditionally rises vertically above the ground and tries to scare off the enemy by straightening its hood. If it doesn't work out, she contracts special muscles with which she injects poison from her mouth under great pressure. The poison flies at a distance of up to 10 feet, more than 3 meters, so that the snake can attack the enemy from afar even before he gets close to the strike distance. But the most interesting thing is the manner of using poison. The fact is that the poison is not an acid, but a protein compound with many complex toxins. If it gets on the surface of bare skin, it can only cause mild irritation. And if the skin is covered with fur, then even less sense. Then what is the point of such a weapon? The fact is that the venom of the spitting cobra has an increased caustic force, and the snake shoots them accurately into the eyes of the enemy. If the poison gets there, it will cause terrible pain, live from a chemical burn. A sufficient amount of poison can even permanently deprive vision due to damage to the lens and cornea. Moreover, the lions do not carry protective glasses or washing water with them. To be sure to hit the eyes, the snake will make smooth, fan-like movements during shooting. So, individual drops of the toxin will fall on as large as an area of the lesion as possible. Panthers are lions, tigers, leopards, jaguars, and snow leopards. They are called big cats, but the main thing that unites them is not the size, but the structure of the skull and the number of common features. Among the cats, which in contrast are called small, there are species that are almost as large and heavy as panthers. These are cheetahs, and their closest relatives, cougars, and they also don't mind fighting with a large snake. For example, this cougar, which is even larger than the Asian leopard. She noticed a huge adult python and immediately headed towards it. The cat clearly has no experience of fighting with such reptiles because she just goes into a frontal attack and tries to bite the snake in the middle of the trunk. Any experienced snake catcher here will just make a facepalm like Captain Picard from Star Trek. In fact, the experienced cougar herself was exposed to the python's fangs, but fortunately the reaction speed did not let the cat down. The snake just didn't have time to reach her. This fight ended in a draw, but you can be sure that when the cougar becomes a little more mature, snakes will definitely be a part of her menu. One of the best snake hunters among cats is the lynx. This wildcat is often underestimated because it has not the most impressive size due to its relatively short body, very short tail, and very secretive nature. But at the same time, the lynx is able to overcome an adult deer, and catching a poisonous snake for her is like winning a contest at a friend's birthday party, and entertainment and a delicious prize in the final. Such confidence in the lynx's ability has its foundation. It's all about very long paws with large pads and extremely strong claws. The manner of hunting a snake in a lynx is not at all the same as, for example, in a mongoose. No jaw attack until the very end of the battle, just the paws. With them, the lynx strikes from different sides at different angles. At the same time, the cat constantly burps and makes sure that the snake does not get too close. Such caution is a severe necessity. On the territory of North America, the most venomous snakes are rattlesnakes. Their venom is very different from the poison used by cobras or black mambas. The fact is that not all snakes have neurotoxins. Many types of rattlesnakes are armed with poison which acts primarily on the blood. These are so-called hemotoxins that destroy red and other blood cells, cause internal bleeding, and hemorrhages in various organs. The body seems to be being destroyed from the inside. While it's worth adding various bonuses to this: terrible pain, loss of orientation, nausea, symptoms of poisoning. In short, the accuracy of the lynx is the key to its survival. And it is all the more amazing how the cat develops its attack. The snake is trying to hide, but the lynx not only strikes, but also catches it with its claws. When the reptile is about to bite its poisonous teeth to the paw, the lynx immediately releases it, but the snake never gets a chance to escape. Gradually, the cat pulls out the opponent and then picks up the claws right under the skull. Then the decisive bite, a bid at the cost of life. If the snake had escaped, it would have bitten the lynx right in the nose, and that would have stopped our hero's heart in a couple of minutes. But fortunately for the lynx, it has grasped the reptile securely enough and manages to grab its head with its fangs. In a few minutes of hunting, the lynx received a supply of food which will last her until the end of the day. Servals are wild cats that are inferior to cougars and cheetahs in size and strength. But at the same time, the paws are very long relative to the body, with a slender, lean, muscular body. To this, it is worth adding unusually fast reflexes, speed of movement and flexibility, even by cat standards. So fighting an angry serval is like trying to extinguish a burning garment without taking it off. Maybe you'll be lucky, maybe not, but it will hurt in any case. After all, servals do not retreat even in a battle with a larger opponent. However, no matter how impressive a serval duel against a larger cheetah looked, this fight can hardly be compared with the epicness of a duel between a large poisonous snake and a serval. The cat acts very smartly. He carefully approaches the poisonous snake and raises his paw very high, with which he will strike. All of them are trial at first. With them, he simply checks how easy it will be to deal with the reptile, as well as how quickly it will attack in response. The snake makes its throws almost instantly, but the jumping serval is too far away. He manages to reflexively bounce away from danger. Gradually, he pushes the snake away and exhausts it. A cold-blooded creature has much less stamina. Every throw is a big effort for her, whereas a serval could ride like that for another hour and a half, but he doesn't have to do it. Another trial blow proves that the snake is already exhausted. She came within a hair's breadth of biting into the serval half a dozen times, but the cat escaped her venom and went to the end with the endurance of a real warrior. As a result, the serval grabs the snake with its jaws almost effortlessly right behind the head. Her poisonous teeth are no